Okay, today we are here, so what we're going to do is we're going to fly in Microsoft Flight Simulator and we're going to check out the latest Ukraine offensive that happened in Russia. So they flew into this village, we're gonna fly around it, the village of Suja, and then we're gonna fly into the Kursk nuclear power station because that's most likely where Ukraine troops heading. What's been happening past last 2 years since invasion started, Russia been on Ukraine soil, just causing chaos, a lot of misinformation about this war, but long story cut short, Russia bad, and they need to find out. And they lately entered the stage of finding out by Ukraine, basically going into their territory in the Kursk region, where the nuclear power plant is, and the most, let's say, popular occupied place is this village. So we are flying here over Russia. We're gonna check out what it looks like, because of course in Flight Simulator you can check out. We've got one of my little aircrafts here. I got the slower one just because I'm gonna slow down here, just because we can see it better. So we're flying across the village here, little houses, some cars. I've got real life weather enabled. So yeah, little Soviet village that is currently occupied by Ukraine. I've got my flight simulator running nicely, streaming live data of traffic, air traffic, and everything else. So that's where the Ukraine troops are ready, and everyone thinks that they're gonna head that they're gonna head towards the nuclear power plant in the Kursk. So that's our destination. We're gonna check out what the power plant looks like. That's my destination. I've got it here, so that's where we're gonna turn. I've got anti-stall installed. That's it. We're gonna turn down there, because otherwise I would stall. And we're gonna check out other villages as well. Mirny here, another one. There you go. There's Sudzha. That's what we flew over. The town village of about 6,000 people, but a lot of little villages around it, as you can see. So we are 31.8 nautical miles. I've got this slow aircraft here. I like it. It's kind of like sitting in a car. I'm gonna actually adjust my position. Just flying over Russians. No war good for anyone. Let's say I feel sorry for people in Russia. Just because they didn't go to war. The Putin did. It's mad that we live in times when one person can have that much power. To be honest, I'm fed up of old people ruling the most powerful countries in the world. I think there should be a limit. Like once you hit 65, which is retirement age, you've got to fuck off. We've got all those old men fighting for power and ruling and fucking things up for everyone. It's pissing me off. But anyway, hopefully now Russia is in fighting out stage of the war. Now they know Ukraine can and is capable of enter their region. Then they will be more knowing about the war. Because of course in Russia propaganda is so strong that those people don't really know what's happening. We're gonna fly kind of like from villages to village. This is the main road, I'm assuming. I'm gonna fly closer in a minute. That's the invasion happening. And this is village of Martinovka, whatever that is. Russia, of course, a very poor country. Their bigger cities are alright, but it's a poor country with a lot of places not even having like hot running water or proper toilets. As a Polish person, I had enough of Russia, let's say, government in my lifetime. They are annoying. To me, after World War II ended, for Polish people, it's truly ended after Russia fucked off, you know, after the communism ended in 1989 and Poland become democratic country, which is makes the another village down there, makes Russia, especially Putin, he's so fragile, he's very salty over it. But let's be honest, the standard of living in Russia is so low, I would worry first about his own country before invading any others. But like I said, old people ruling the world are fucking weird. Okay, we're gonna go to that village in Berlin in a minute, see what's going on down there. And then later on we're gonna fly to Nowocherkawskia village. Flight Simulator, awesome looking game. Don't make maybe the most exciting streams, but can be a bit, let's say, informative. The new Flight Simulator will come out this year, scheduled to release in November, and I cannot wait to play it because I must say this looks amazing and photorealistic, and the new one gonna look even better. On PlayStation VR2 when I'm playing, you know, with the awesome colors, it just feels so great. They've got nice weather today in Russia, definitely better than in UK. Okay, so here we are in the tiny town of Berlin, Russian town, just one road. Flight Simulator uses real-life world maps for its, you know, for the world generation, but it's kind of guesses what the building looks like from above. So of course in Russia a lot of not this, let's say, building with triangle roof, but more those flat Soviet concrete buildings. But even this, where we're flying now, I'm gonna get a bit higher. It just shows, look how many little roads it is in Russia and how poor the infrastructure is. And that's of course because the country is so poor. Putin's propaganda is trying to show, maybe let's say, paint Russia like this more advanced country that it is. But it's same as situation with China, where there is 20%, you know, 20% unemployment. People are super poor, loads of homeless people. You're just not allowed to see it. Okay, next point of view is Bochanka. That's where you're gonna fly it, our plane. So the journey in total for this trip in this airplane is about 22 minutes. I've changed the point of view here from outside so I can look around a bit more little Russian villages around me. You know, very unlucky living in Russia. Sadly we cannot choose when we are born. So I'm assuming by now maybe Ukraine forces are in this area now, maybe. They're not in nuclear power plant, which is where we're heading. We are 18.5 nautical miles from it. They're not there just yet, but they will get there. That's why I like the flight simulator here. Okay, we're gonna go down there. No, we're not gonna go down there. Because you can just check out your points, let's say, of interest, something interests you. You can go and have a look. You can go check out your street where you live at, your house. But we're checking out, let's say, the war situation. Of course, the maps here are not updated for the war, so you don't see, let's say, the destruction. As you can see on Google Maps now, when you go through the satellite images. But what you can see is kind of where the war is happening. We're gonna check out the size of this nuclear power plant and see how big it is. Now, bit of info about Flight Simulator. So this game streams real world data, so you need fast internet to get it look like that. They've got preloaded maps as well, but I play with my I swapped my internet here in UK. I went from BT to Virgin Internet, and Virgin Internet where I live, it's 1 gigabit per second speed, so super fast, makes everything definitely look good. We are a bit higher now above the ground, But once we get to our power plant, we can kind of start seeing it now in the background. We're gonna check out the true scale of it. Of course, Russia occupies the nuclear power plant in Ukraine, and you cannot really fight around nuclear power plant too much without making it fucking blow up, which is, you know, it can easily happen. The last nuclear power plant, I think, to explode was in the Japan, and of course tons of nuclear waste, let's say radiation, and all in all fuckery. But yeah, I can see it now on the horizon. The power plant is nearly there. I'm gonna change the camera angle so you can see it better. So we only 10 nautical miles now, so we're nearly there at our destination. Let's check out what this power plant looks like. Nuclear power plant. So it's in the Kursk region, but it's not in the city of Kursk. And you see close to the border is just down there. I don't know if you can see it now, with the border of Ukraine. But definitely the Ukraine forces went really deep so far into the Russia. It all started with about 200 people. I think they try from 4 different places. They managed in 2. There was some heavy fighting, you know, it's all reported differently. So in some places we report to you that it was super easy and they just went and nobody defended it. Somewhere it's gonna be reported that Ukraine having big losses. Now you have to try to find, let's say, the most objective sources, which is your military, especially military blogs and stuff like that. So there was some heavy fighting. They tried 4 different directions, managed in 2. But now once they in, the Russia struggles to defend it. This is the little villages around the power plant. Lubitskoye. What else? Komiakino. Drużynia. Drużynieński. Great names. Chapliński. So we nearly at the power plant. So looks like all those people who lives around it, if everyone's predictions are correct, which I'm assuming they are, so all those houses here and here, they're all probably pretty fucked. I think Russia already evacuating people from many places. Putin says they're gonna pay $100 for people as compensation, which is, you know, for Russia that's like their 4 months, 1 month, 2 months wage or more. So got quite big Ivanino, the town of Ivanino around the power plant. So those people living in those houses, they're gonna be bad. Oh, this is more like a Soviet architecture, I remember. I'm gonna fly a bit lower. I don't know if you can see it. A lot of square looking concrete buildings. I lived in one of those in Poland. In Poland they made them more colorful now. But yeah, that's probably our flats where people live, even though the game rendered them slightly differently. Let's slow down. We are nearly at the power plant. We slow down a bit. I wonder how the game will render it. So the flight simulator got bespoke cities and 3D scanned cities, but of course they cannot 3D scan the whole world. We've got massive building here, so I'm assuming that would be part of the power plant. And the nuclear power plant, which probably is the target for Ukraine, is all this area here. So we're gonna, let's say, circle around it. So it's all this gonna be part of power plant. This is the terrain which not got rendered, and the reactors are maybe not rendered in the game. But yeah, loads of water. I'm assuming that's for cooling it. So Russian defenses, let's say, are very stretched. Of course, civilians will suffer. So that's all the power plant infrastructure, and that's the power plant. So I think the only thing that the game couldn't render, it is the actual power plant, unless they not gonna do it. But this is all part of it. Let's see, and same this building here. You know, Russian defenses are stretched, but also a lot of civilians around, let's say, for the military targets. And I know you're gonna hear about it, and you know how the people are dying. I used to be in army, in navy, in Polish navy in 2005, and sadly there is no war. There is impossible to have a war without the casualties. And some governments see it differently. So let's say the Western US, even when they start wars, they maybe not gonna want you to find out of the civilian casualties, but also they do care of people's life, and that's why they trying to not target civilians. Why some other governments, like fucking Putin, maybe even like Nazis, they won't care about people, so they will target civilian targets on purpose. So all this area and down there as well, that's all should be soon in the control of Ukraine, if that's their idea. Let's have a look at what's down there. I'm assuming that's the another part of the power plant. All this around this water, maybe. I'm assuming. Speed up a bit. We're gonna have a little circle. I'm assuming this lake here, whatever it's called, that's people living down there. I would say that would be very polluted by now. And I wonder if this is part of the power plant. So this is like a proper Soviet Union neighborhoods you can see here. Especially down there, those will be like a proper block of flats. Yeah, and just people living on top of people, not the nicest places to live, especially in Russia. In Poland, like before I moved out, oh yeah, the memories, it's more developed now. Russia still poor, a lot of poor places. The people basically struggling, and sadly they are about to struggle more, saying that there is no demonstrations allowed in Russia. Somebody shared footage of Russia being annihilated by Ukraine, and they've got arrested a 48-year-old bloke, because of course Putin's ego got butthurt. But yeah, so here probably they be housing a lot of the nuclear power plant workers. But that's the areas, the grey, boring Soviet Union areas. You're gonna fly a bit lower to the buildings just to check them out. Oh yeah, that looks fucking Russian as fuck. So they've been building them buildings because they made from like a concrete slabs, easy to build, to house all the people back in the day during when Soviet Union was trying to pretend that they actually better alternative than capitalism, which they are not. Don't believe any propaganda. I want to fly between those buildings for some reason and check out the lake. Woohoo! Wow, that was close. The crash. Okay, we landed. I landed on top of building. Never mind. So we're gonna stop here. I have a look around. It's actually pretty cool view here. What I can see. Wow, that's awesome. We're gonna stop the stream here. We just check out what's been. I switched the sound off. What's the next offensive, let's say, planned maybe by Ukraine is, and where it takes place, how informative the VR can be. Thanks for watching, and for now that's it. Bye 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 bye.